For today's schlong, we are going to talk about Amber Rose. And we mentioned as soon as she was chosen as somebody to speak at the RNC convention, we were like, really?
Seriously? What are you doing?
Is that what we're doing now? And not because not because we don't agree with the idea of the Republican Party being a big tent. We absolutely do. Everyone is welcome. Come on in. No matter what crazy shit you've done in your past, come on in. You are welcome. The idea, though, the idea of amplifying a voice simply because they've made the switch, despite the fact that they don't agree with the platform, seems odd to me. I just am saying that seems like an odd choice.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of choices. There are so many choices. I mean, we could have been up there. And listen, I'm not saying that I'm bitter, but I should have a shirt on that says I'm bitter.
Honestly, I'm not bitter only because it sounds like a lot of work.
It does. I'm joking too. And we would have had to put makeup on and get dressed up. And that it seems like a lot. It seems like a whole hell of a lot of work.
A lot of work.
But there are a lot of choices out there that they could have made other than her. So I was a little confused at this choice because she did, she walked in the slut walk and she was a stripper and that's fine.
She's an atheist. She has actually said awful things about God and religion. She is totally pro-abortion. There's just a lot of things about where she stands that don't align with the platform. And so while I understand it's really exciting that she's a Trump girl now,
right.
I just don't know if it's appropriate to give her a platform, except that, there's a lot of people on Trump's team who are like, she's got 23 million Instagram followers.
Which is smart.
If she can get a message out that the economy sucks and you guys all know this, then does that resonate? Does that drive people to the polls? Perhaps it does. And for that reason, I would like to just tell you, everybody, that my position on this is that I completely don't know what my position is. I am utterly conflicted about it.
Well, I will say that we have been railing for 14 years about how Republicans don't use pop culture enough. We're behind the curve. I mean, it's as evidenced by the fact that, Lee Greenwood was the one singing when Trump walked in, right? I mean, he's always the one singing. Don't get me wrong. I love that song. It's a great song. But we never change. We never use new things. We never have pop culture. We never have anything that is new culture stuff that is immersed into the RNC. We just don't do that. And we don't, as somebody said, play the game. We don't do it. And so I think that this is sort of a way of them doing it. So I can't really criticize it too much because we have been railing against them on doing this for 14 years. So if she does have 23 million followers wherever, perhaps this was their way of saying, okay, well, we're going to use those 23 million followers and we're going to go ahead and get her message out to those 23 million followers. And that is a smart thing to do on our part.
It's savvy.
It's very savvy. And I actually thought her speech was good. I thought it was.
Yeah, we're going to play it. And so for sure. So all the people that are losing their minds right now going, don't judge. Don't you think people can change? This isn't about her, you guys.
It's not about her.
You're messing this up. This is not us judging her. It's us telling facts about her positions and asking the question, do those align with the GOP? That's all. So don't take this as judgment because we both thought her speech was great.
Her speech was
and
great.
That is why we're feeling a little bit conflicted. And so we'll go over all the reaction to it. But first of all, and I've cut out applause, just the filler applause, just for the sake of time. So you'll hear pretty much all of her speech right here.
My entire family is racially diverse. And I believe the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love.
And it's true. That's true.
And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the U.S. military. Thank you for your service, Dad. Yeah. I love you, Dad. I love you. If you're watching this tonight, you know our country is in trouble. Just like me. When you go to the store and buy food for your family, you're shocked. When you fill up your gas tank, you're pissed. I know I am. And when you turn on the news, you are just exhausted. Inflation is out of control. And you know in your heart it was not like this under Donald Trump. My message to you tonight comes from a humble place. The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes. Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I thought it was great. I mean, I think it's great.
Nothing to slam about that at all.
And I love how the theme was, I was told what to do. I did my research and I did what they told me. I did the opposite of what they told me to do, which is, I mean, we kind of do that. You know what I mean? We do, because we're women. And if we did what the media told us to do, we'd be liberals, right? So I can't dispute anything that she said. I love what she said. It's fantastic. Her message is awesome. And a lot more people should do their freaking research rather than listen blindly to our stupid ass media who has done so much damage to our country. And so I really liked her speech.
It was great. It was an absolutely great speech. And it's what, this morning when we were thinking about, like, what are we going to do for our schlong? And I was like, I think Amber Rose is going to be really easy, because I've had a change of heart somewhat about, because I was really like, this is a terrible decision. And then I had a change of heart after listening to her. But then I still feel very conflicted about it. I still don't know if it was appropriate to platform someone who's so divergent from what the platform is. And so you'll see some other reaction about that. And actually anyway, we'll talk about some of the reaction. The first being from Matt Walsh, who is already one of the most judgmental, critical people alive. So there was no question where he was going to stand on this issue. And here is what he said. The RNC gives a primetime speaking slot to a pro-abortion feminist and self-proclaimed slut with a face tattoo whose only claim to fame is having sex with rappers. Truly an embarrassment. Not a single voter will be mobilized by this person.
I disagree. I totally disagree. That last sentence, I totally disagree.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, you can say what you want about her sex life or whatever, but I absolutely disagree with the fact that not a single, there will be voters who look at her just like every other celebrity, whatever person. She has 23 million followers. You don't think that at least like 5-10 people will look at that and go, well, maybe I'll, do some research, or maybe I'll change my mind on that, or maybe I just disagree with them.
We've told you guys about our favorite products from Healthy Cell many, many times before. And of course, both of us would agree that the hair, skin, and nails gel pack from Healthy Cell is for sure our favorite. But they have so many other kinds of things, different kinds of supplement packs that will help you no matter what your issue may be. So say, for example, you got a big old day. You're full of meetings, and you know that you have got to be on your game. And you know that you have like a 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like prime nap time meeting. This is what you need. This right here.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
The focus and recall. This is what you need to make sure that your mind is sharp and that you don't want to like lay in fetal position on a couch somewhere when you have an important meeting.
Instead of coffee. You can do that instead of coffee. Well, maybe
exactly
coffee. Yeah.
This stuff right here boosts your brain power with nootropics for focus and mental speed. It has, by the way, the equivalent of 11 different pills worth of brain supporting nootropics in this easy to use gel pack, which, by the way, has a yummy peach flavor. It's one of my favorite flavors. And so it's delicious, as they all are. And of course, just like any other Healthy Cell gel pack, it absorbs into your body 165% better than any of those pills, tablets, or capsules, which you have to take by the handful in order to get everything that's in this one little pack. So it's got a tiny, tiny bit of amount of caffeine in it, but also that's paired with L-theanine to give you that focused energy. And then, of course, it's got tons of other stuff in there that is really, really good for keeping your mind sharp and focused. Just one of the many amazing gel packs that you can get from Healthy Cell. And of course, when you use promo code CHICKS at healthycell.com/chicks, you will get 20% off your first order. So if you got important meetings coming up, that's what you need right there. Well, so too did this person, Tiffany, who said, unfollowed. Your comments are classless and unnecessary. You missed her entire point. Amber Rose may have a questionable past with rappers, but the point is she was an uninformed leftist who had an awakening, like many former Democrats who are now voting Trump.
Yeah. I mean, listen, people have past, you guys. You know, it's like, this is the thing. It's kind of like if you've ever met a born again Christian who was a drug addict or whatever, just, you know, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Aren't we supposed to welcome people with open arms and say, it's all right. So you've done some crazy crap in the past. So what? Love everybody, you know? And if she's like, I want to do this now and I've seen the light and I like this guy and I was dumb in the past and now I'm not dumb. Aren't we supposed to just love everybody for that? I mean, isn't that what
everybody
we're supposed to do?
Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus loved the sinners, right?
Okay, so here's some more reaction. Zeke Arkham said, I saw the speech from Amber Rose. I threw holy water at my television. It burst into flames from all the sin on the screen. I called her a harlot and made a vow to stone her when I had time. Nah, just kidding. Her speech was classy and informative. Probably convinced a few people to vote for Trump because her story is their own. Some of you really need to stop with the holier than thou rhetoric. Between Calendargate and this, it's no wonder why we're seen as the hateful and intolerant folks.
True.
We have a country to save.
Amen, Zeke. That's right.
And again, this is not what makes me conflicted. It's not her and welcoming her into the fold. It's the platform. And so you'll see some tweets about that later. But first, here's another. Katya Sedgwick said, Amber Rose gave a good non-ideological speech. Stress on community and mutual benefit. Getting along with people you don't like and who may violate your basic moral principles is part of being an American.
Right. Remember when we could do that? Do you guys remember? I'm old enough to remember when we could all do that.
Christian Watson, the RNC should continue embracing people like Amber Rose. You cannot preach conservatism to an audience that already agrees with you.
Amen.
You cannot model virtue before a crowd of saints. And most importantly, you cannot judge someone for being a human when you are no better.
Very true. And that's why I love our community. Mm-hmm. Our community is like that.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Oh, okay. So then we're going to get into some crazy. So Joy Reid, she went on a tear about Amber Rose's skin color because this is Joy Reid that we're talking about. And that's all she thinks about. So I I don't know a lot about Amber Rose, except that she was a stripper. She slept with a bunch of rap stars, whatever. She dated Kanye. I don't know much about her whole thought process, but apparently she has said rightly, as she's a mixed race person. I believe she's got a black parent and a white parent. I don't know which is which. But in any case, she doesn't tolerate being called white or black. She is a biracial person.
Yeah. And
so it has made a lot of black people mad that she won't refer to herself as black. But she has said, I'm light-skinned enough that I don't feel like I have experienced life as a black woman. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her saying that.
Nothing wrong with that.
But Joy Reid is pissed, as she always is. And here's what she said. After Christian. And right here.
So it's ironic that they were able to recruit this young woman who, and she's a racially ambiguous. I don't want to say she's black because she has said she's not. So I don't want to say this black woman, this woman who is of whatever race that she has claimed. She said she's not black. But they brought somebody whose whole career is based in black culture. She used to be on a show on BET. That's the reason most people know who she is. She dated one of the most prominent African-American rappers in the business, in the history of hip-hop. So her whole culture came from black culture, even though she says she's not a black person herself. And the fact that she is now the person they're using to try to recruit young people of color and to say that this is the person who is the endorser of Donald Trump who you should trust, when she won't even claim the culture that brought her to the table, I'm dubious that this will work. I don't know anyone who takes their political cues from Amber Rose, but just in case you do, you might want to duplicate doing your own research because she might not have done it thoroughly.
Wait a second. Now do Obama.
Right?
Now do Obama, Joy.
She's fine with that because he claims his blackness.
Oh, okay. But his white mother is the one that raised him and he shunned that. So just let's do him. Can we dissect that? Because you didn't say that about him. I mean, his dad left, the black dad left, white mom raised him, and then he shuns the white culture. So, okay, I'm just going to be quiet now.
You guys are going to love this next clip for how ridiculous it is. So I think this is an MSNBC guy, Jonathan Capehart, right? I think that's an MSNBC guy.
I don't know any of their names.
The gay black guy.
Okay, I don't know.
One of the gay black guys. Their reaction to Amber, his reaction specifically to Amber Rose, because the guy that he's talking to is actually right. Jonathan Capehart is delusional, and you'll see multiple instances of the delusion. Here it is.
It strikes me when she says the left told me to hate Trump, but when you cut through the lies, you'll realize that life was better under him. That's a resonant argument for a lot of people. Now, of course, you have to discount the fact that there was a 100-year pandemic and everything that resulted from that. But if you clip that and put it on Instagram among, the people that follow her, that could pick up a lot of traction. That resonates with folks.
Well, sure. And, I would love to ask her, what lies? Like, it's one thing you could say when I cut through the lies. What lies are those? And then please tell me, how do you counter those lies you're talking about with the actual data that's there? We can talk about the emotions because economics are emotional. And if people don't feel it, I get it.
In fairness, the left has vilified Donald Trump.
I'm sorry, define vilified.
Oh my God.
You can argue the merits.
Dude.
But in fairness, the left has vilified Donald Trump. Threat to democracy, that he's a...
Is that a vilification?
That
or
he's Hitler.
Is that a vilification? And I don't mean to argue with you, Jeff, but I disagree with this notion that the left has vilified Donald Trump. The left has pointed out multiple things he has done as president, has said as president, as a candidate for the presidency again, that deserve to be pointed out, deserve to be criticized. That's not vilification. That's acknowledging
Delusional.
what is there for everyone to see. Now, if someone had called him, all sorts
Hitler?
of names, in addition to that, then the name calling, I would say, is vilification.
Evil?
But the
Hitler?
substance of what people are talking about, you can't call that vilification when you're hammering the guy on his on what he proposes for the country and to do to the country.
I think Whoopi called him crap. Remember? Poop. Remember? Hitler, evil.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I existential threat to democracy, like over and over and over again.
Racist.
Yeah.
I mean, they've said literally everything. That
There was literally like a theatrical representation of somebody shooting him in the head years ago. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember that? That was okay, right? I mean, it was totally fine. I mean, Johnny Depp said, remember we could is it bad to assassinate the president? Remember when he was president? Like, I mean, there's video of this, you guys. Does he not? And then you cannot talk about how the economy is just emotional. No, the economy, there is data to support that the economy is worse now, dude. Like, this guy works for WAPO.
and MSNBC. I feel like he's got his own show because I know I've seen him hosting. So maybe he's either a fill-in guy and he doesn't have his. Obviously, I don't watch MSNBC regularly, so I don't know their whole lineup.
That whole everything about what he just said made everybody dumber. We're all dumber. I'm sorry, you guys.